Hi everyone, welcome to Mom Talks, here with Sarah Denton. I'm excited to let you know that I am sitting here with Jeanette Lehmann.
Hi.
Our first podcast guest ever. And although we are so excited about this podcast, we both wanted to just take a moment and address the recent tragedy that happened in our area just last week. You may have heard about it, and Jenny just wanted to talk a little bit more because the family, they are part of this this community here at Braninchild, and we can't always correct our mistakes and our accidents. And this little boy, he was left in the car, unattended, and it's awful and it's horrifying, and I can't even imagine the pain and the grief. Mm-hmm. And we just need to be as supportive as possible. And Jenny has a little bit more insight that she would like to share. And so I'm just going to pass it off to her.
Thank you, Sarah. So we only recently became acquainted with the Dill family that is going through this tragedy now. And their older son has been attending our camp this summer. He and his little brother, Ollie, both attended gymnastics here at Acros. And we are all, as a community, just trying to be as supportive and respectful of the parents and the little boy, the older brother, and just do anything we can to help them. As Braninchild Creations, we haven't known them an incredibly long time, so we do want to be respectful of their space. And what I feel like we can do most currently is try to bring awareness to as many parents as we can.
Absolutely.
Whether they're parents that immediately upon hearing the news or seeing it in the paper or online felt so heartbroken for the family, or if as a parent you look at it and are angered and can't imagine how a parent could possibly do that and make that mistake. There have been many comments online from people we don't know saying, this would never happen to me, or in all my years of parenting, I never. And I think for parents, one of the most dangerous things we can do is think that we are not capable of making these horrifying mistakes and accidents. When my son was 18 months old, nearly almost 3 years ago to the day, he nearly drowned in a friend's in-laws pool. I grew up swimming. My dad taught swimming. I knew about pool safety. I didn't know that two 18-month-olds could, while playing behind a curtain, unlock a sliding door and get out to a pool in what seemed like seconds that we looked away. Clearly it was not. And had my friend Tammy, who had a daughter the same age, but who also had older children, not leapt into the pool and saved my son, things could have been much different. And I honestly think it was her mothering instincts that she had been honing in for more years than I had saved him. Because at the time I had an 18-month-old and an 8-month-old at home, and we weren't sleeping a lot, and you kind of lose track of how time works. Minutes seem like hours, and hours seem like minutes sometimes, and you just can't keep it straight. So also, closer to the subject of car safety with the possibility of leaving kids in the car, especially during the summer, but winter is just as dangerous. There is a book I recommend that parents read or honestly listen to on audiobook. It's called Little Mercies by Heather Gudenkoff. They have the audiobook at EVPL, I know. I grabbed it by random choice. 2 summers ago, when I was driving my kids back and forth to Christney every day on about an hour drive to help manage my father and grandmother's hospice care that was going on at the same time.
Tough.
It was very difficult. My kids were babies, so there were many days I would get to a driveway, one of their driveways, and just have to think, should I go in and check first at what the situation is before I bring in the kids? I could have very easily left one of them in the car and forgotten, I'm sure, under the stress and emotional toll I was under at that time. Thankfully, I listened to this book, which I thought would be a light read or light listen, and it happened to be about a social worker who mistakenly leaves their child in the car during summer, and the story that unfolds after that happens. And I listened to it in my car and was able to look in the rearview mirror and see my kids sitting back there. And I honestly listened to passages of it over and over again. And it sticks with me. It sticks with me when I turn off the ignition. It's that story sticks with me when I look in the rearview mirror now and see my kids older. And I honestly think it may have saved their lives that summer, because it was a very difficult time where much of the time I probably wasn't thinking straight. So we think knowledge helps so many situations, at least in trying to understand what people are going through and trying to be there for them. As well, Acros and Braninchild Creations will be setting up a meal train with a
Meal Train Plus.
A Meal Train Plus. That, if you're familiar with Meal Train Plus offers other tasks, other needs, errands that the family may need, and we will be getting that set up soon for as long as we can, because I think we all understand that this family will be needing support just going forward without an end date. And we want to try to be there for the family as much as we can, whether it's in physically helping, financially helping, or simply trying to bring awareness to this. This could happen to anyone, and we are all fallible as parents, and we just need to support each other as much as we can so that we can do the best job we possibly can.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you for being amazing and for sharing all of that information. Again, I'm just going to reiterate what she said real quick. It can happen. It can happen to you. It can happen to me. As many times as we want to say that would never happen. Haven't you ever forgotten something? I know I have. And it pains me to think about it. And I can't even imagine, and just want to help in any way possible. And I'm sure the family will appreciate any love, support, prayers, good thoughts, vibes that you can send their way. They need it. They need it desperately, as I'm sure any of us would in that situation.
Definitely.
I look forward to bringing you more about Jenny's story and having her share that. And thank you so much for taking a moment to listen. There is a post that accompanies this video. It has the information and the details of the book, and also just a little bit more about Jenny's story. So please take a moment and read that. Thank you for being so vulnerable and for being so real and outspoken. I appreciate it. All right, we will see you soon.
Bye.